Affirmative. Command acknowledged. Initializing. System ready.
This is the Marauder. Back with Planet Explorers 8.2/8.3 Alpha. Newt's Journeys. Steam Edition. Episode 02.
We need to start considering the long-term strategy here. I think we need to find a way to go to where the Epiphany crashed. Before that, we need to regroup with all the survivors around here. That'll be your job.
The path to redemption.
Sure, but you really don't have a choice in this matter, do you? You can either find some survivors and live or die on your own.
Warning. All hands to lifeboats. Evacuate the ship immediately. Launching escape pods. Warning. Guidance controls inoperative. Venting plasma. Red alert. Emergency. Glide trajectory corrupted. Brace for impact. Initializing.
And so it begins.
System ready. Backup systems online. Automatic pilot disabled. Emergency crews to your stations. Emergency crews to your stations.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time coming. As the first humans to ever venture out this far into the frontier, I cannot emphasize how proud I am to have made this journey with you, all of you. I look forward to us building a new home together. Let us make Baria into a shining beacon of the human civilization. Many rivers we had to cross, but we finally found our way.
Separation complete.
We are going for atmospheric entry burn in 3, 2,
Stand by.
mark!
Object approaching. Emergency evasion.
Extensive portside damage.
Get out of here!
Evacuate
Go
the ship in all corners!
Going down.
Extinguishers inoperative. Fire in fuselage. Implementing emergency systems. Hayloft system engaged. Evacuate the ship immediately.
Survival 101. Well, we're back in episode 2. Newt is gathering resources. We got some cycas seeds, some cycas, some wood, and some little plant fiber. Let's chop down this thing here and see what we get. You still have to get that water back to Gerdy. You be sure to do that. And gather some resources. So that Gerdy seems that she can't be moved. We're gonna get some things and head on back to camp. Notice it was taking a very long time with this little knife. Puree, resin, and the seed of the plant and the plant itself. Yeah, don't ask me to pronounce any Latin names. It ain't gonna happen. We still have our picture in our inventory. It's in the equipment slot. 1 shovel, 1 flashlight, and our sword, which will move to our quick slot. Now, not the axe. This knife is not very powerful, so we will have to upgrade to an axe later on. It'll serve its purpose for now. Now, the axe and the knives can be used also to attack creatures, but the attack points are very low. We'll test our sword out on this little guy here. 2 swipes, you're done. 1 lobsteropolis for the dinner table. Now we'll go after the stag. never saw it coming. Now for any of the beginners, if you're monitoring the clock, you'll know it's 1900 hours. By 2000 hours, nighttime will close in. So be careful. Now we just took out that primate. Go down here, there's another one. Missed him. Now for those of you willing to try this, usually primates, monkeys, baboons, attack in groups. And they throw things. I always used to say that they were throwing rocks, which is a possibility. One of my viewers said monkeys don't throw rocks. I gave that some thought and I said, oh my goodness, you're right. They throw dung. But I've even known monkeys to throw fruit. But for the most part, as you can see, the sword that you build is stronger than anything that Gerdy would give you, or stronger than your knife, and it makes quick work of the creatures early on. Why Gerdy doesn't give you a sword to begin with is kind of beyond me. Especially when you have to gather things from, well, hostile creatures. And even a non-hostile creature can fight back. She sends you out like Rambo. But don't forget, it is just after a crash. She may not be thinking, and may not be thinking of your preservation. She may be in some kind of shock. And with that in mind, we'll head back to her. Wouldn't want to leave her there that long, and a person who's been injured, you have to also keep them warm. We have 6 animal fat in our inventory. Looks like 1,136 stacks of meat. Hi, Gerdy.
Oh?
How are you doing? Here's that water. Go get some animal fat and I'll show you how to make a torch, okay, Newt? Some of those creatures over there look kind of fat. They can stand to lose a little weight. I already got some.
Oh?
Well, how about that? Let's see what we can do with it. Thanks, Gerdy, thanks. Now we can make a torch. We'll click on that. And we just need 1 wood and 1 animal fat. We'll make 3 torches. Now the torch will appear in your equipment slot, like so, and can be equipped into your quick slot. You can fight with the torch as well. It does a certain amount of damage.
What is it now?
I bet you haven't had anything good to eat since we left. Listen, go get these things for me, some animal fat and some wood. And I'll show you how to make something to eat. Okay, I'll do that. So of course we've already got the wood. We've been gathering it since we got here. We just need to get some animal fat. Shouldn't have made all those torches. just have to find something to kill. Now this tree looks promising, as I think anybody could remember. Anything different you come across, cut it down. See what you get from it. In this case, wood, rubber, and resin. You start gathering like that, and you'll figure out what you can use very early in the game. By the time you reach an NPC who asks you for something, you've already got it. Or you've passed it, and you've got a pretty good idea where you saw it. And you just have to get more. So we're getting rubber from this. You know that in Planet Explorers we build vehicles later on. This will come in very handy. And also as a commodity. Tradable. Sellable. Maybe you'll gather enough rubber, since it seems to be plentiful from the tree. That's 22 pieces of rubber. And that will help you in the future to buy something that ordinarily you couldn't afford. Now I did a little bit of editing there. Newt chopped down a few trees and is still searching around the place for animals. Lots of them have gone to sleep and cannot be found. That just means to be very wary of the predators that are now out. Animals can be attacked in their sleep by you, and they can be attacked in their sleep by predators. And that noise in the background, that was a conflict somewhere out there. We have a flashlight. Unfortunately, the game schematics do not allow you to aim the flashlight. You hold it in the hand just as you would hold your sword. They do not equip together. It would be better if the flashlight... Whoops! I think we may have taken a hit there. Going after that stag, and lo and behold, what comes up? Definitely predatorial. And it's following. Those creepy glowing eyes. We'll retreat to the water. Whenever hunting, best to keep your back at something safe. Oh, okay. He's got a... Oh, we're taking hits. I'm glad that they gave me that sound. The previous version, they had no sound. Quite pleased with what they've done. Here we are. Safety of the water. He cannot swim after us. We'll heal up, we'll go around and give him a few more strikes. Now don't forget your weapons have durability on them. You cannot repair them this early in the game. Gotcha. So be aware of that. If you go off on a massive hunting spree and you break it, you'll have to build a new one. Once a creature is killed, just press the T button to take. Once you've right-clicked on the creature. Echo.
Awaiting request, Master.
Let's make a shelter.
Command acknowledged. One moment, please.
Once you select that you intend to build an object and its size, all we have to do is select a material. Now, my first time building objects like this to use, I am selecting a small size, and hopefully that does the trick. If not, let's go in and do it again. We're only going to use wood, so this is not going to be a complicated thing. Time to test my artistic skills. A tent, something simple.
Affirmative.
Now you would notice that my material is already covered. And that is because this is my own custom materials. I've got the mirror effect on. I'll turn that off. There we go. Only one side mirroring, not two. Once I get it to, I guess, the desired look, I'll hollow it out. Looking for another material type. I think we'll go with the Tech 3. We'll change it up. Select the cylinder as my brush. I'll drag it right through this structure here. Nope, don't like that. I'll try again. And then pull up. And don't forget, you can set your depth. Just like in video number 1, you set your depth. There we go. Nice and quick like. And you can decide how deep you want to dig something out. Okay, you have to reset that depth. That was too much. Okay, gonna have to reset that depth. That was too much. Apparently it's going to be a very disturbing day. I got phones ringing and stopping. And it's early in the morning. Nobody should be calling me. But when you live in... Oh my goodness gracious. When you live in a household with others, of course, someone's calling for somebody. So, as we go through this, I'll take a peek at the phone. It's kind of funny. In the 3 or so weeks that the phone line was not working because something was wrong with the wiring on the outside, the phone company didn't come by to fix it. I was in total peace when it came to the phone, and now that it's back, it's making my life a living nightmare. Boy, I think I would like to trade places with Newt right now and be on planet Maria. Anyways, we're going to select a picture and capture it, name it, QuickTint. We can always go back and edit it later. We've made it just from wood, but different patterns of wood. We'll go into our decals, stick a picture on it. Just a little something. Rotate it to our desired effect. It's been mirrored, so it'll be on both sides. Echo.
Awaiting request, Master.
Select ISO and export.
Affirmative. One moment, please. Download in progress.
Well, let's see how big this... Oh, whoa. Well, that's small. Very small. Yep, I can't fit in there. Nope. But it'll be good for Gerdy. Since that Gerdy cannot be moved, she needs warmth and shelter. So let's get this tent out. We'll use the T on the keyboard to turn it and set it up right where we want it, and we'll cover Gerdy with it. To get the angle just right, now Gerdy's been covered. Now you notice the blue glows. It's because the material wood has been diffused. Now we'll put, there we go, a torch on one side. We'll keep Gerdy safe. Always save your checkpoints. Now, me personally, I would have found a way to use the ship behind me as shelter. Even the stuff on the inside may have been able to be salvaged. Take the door off if it can. Put it between you and anything else, or just crawl back inside. We'll play it out that maybe the storyline is that, of course, Gerdy cannot be moved. So if she cannot be moved safely, and you're not a doctor, you're not going to do anything to harm her. Of course not. So you're going to build a quick shelter on the outside, and of course, like a good guard, you will guard and protect her. Overnight. Echo.
Awaiting request, Master.
We need to build a new structure.
Command acknowledged.
Now, I've selected the larger scale under the create mode for objects. The other one just didn't work. Select material, wood.
Command acknowledged.
Now, as you can see, the mirror effect is still on. So to make sure that those are on the sides and not at the front and back. And you just build it now to your desired effect. I am in freehand draw with the brush. Now I'm back in block mode. I'll put a structure straight across. There we go. Should have made that a bit higher, but everything is going by estimate. I'll cut these pieces off. In freehand mode, that's easy enough to do. I'll change the mirror effects because I don't want this mirrored. And I'll cut these out. Just using your mouse to select the voxels. Change the depth here. Make it deeper. Make the work go faster. Anytime you make a mistake or it's too deep, just click the undo button down there by the menu word, bottom right hand corner. So we'll quickly jot through this and hollow it out piece by piece. We'll be resetting the depth every now and then to make sure we don't cut through the walls, and correcting any mistakes as we go along. Sometimes you'll make a mistake when building an ISO, and the mistake is a good one. You'll actually like it and you'll stick with it. Don't be afraid to experiment. This episode, Survival 101, is not just about the survival of you on the planet. It's just your own survival within the game as well. Because some people are a bit hesitant in trying new things, building things. I mean, you're always afraid sometimes that you can't do it when it's something new to you, or you look at someone else's work and That's why I'm taking the time in a couple of these episodes to show, piece by piece, how certain ISOs are built. Call it a common courtesy. Somebody asked me once if I could do that, and I said yes. I try to keep my promises. There's always a promise that you can't keep. Hopefully the only one that I can't keep is, well, the promise that you make and then death takes you. There's no way that you can keep it. But apart from that, I'll try to keep them. All of them. When you got kids, that's no easy task. Then when they just ask for stuff and they want you to make a promise, you just say, I'll take it under consideration. That way you never make promises you can't keep. So we will continue to hollow out this structure. Now you could use the feather brush to do some of this, but because I'm trying for a unique shape, I'm not going to do that. See that I selected that material and then I just grafted it up. And of course that's the shift key, and then use the up arrow. If you want to send something up on a slant, it will be the shift key along with the space bar, and then use one of the arrows as well, the up arrow, so that you're creating the effect of shift to go up and the arrow to go in, and then up again and then in, like building a staircase. Now you just saw the inside of the material builder, and with that, that's how I can select a material, change it from aluminum to wood with just a tap of a button. The shiny bits on the outside will glow at night, making it easier to find. And of course I'll stick a decal or two on it, which will also make it illuminate. It looks good so far. But everything has to be tested. Always changing the depth to make sure the effect that you want is the effect that you get. Some moves you'll do with mirror mode, others you'll do without. Now I'm putting this down to see if I can put a mat down. In theory, all this works, but that's theory. Because in the editor and when things are built as voxels, there are invisible walls. It can create a problem when you build it and put it into the world. It looks great now, but the problem always has been, can you walk into it? And that is a problem that I'll face with this test. We'll mirror this. There we go. And we'll put another one in place and rotate it around. Make sure it's as flat as we want. And then drag it back and I create a cross scythe. Now we'll do a little tilting just to get it on the angle that is desired. There we go. Now, let's put a little tech inside of it. After all, it is going to be the Echo tent. She can interface and recharge Echo inside here. Now it's a simple matter of getting the decal where you want it. I know I said simple matter, but bear with me. It's a matter of getting the decal where you want it. If it's going to be mirrored or not, one can be mirrored, one doesn't have to be. Be careful though. The more decals you put on, the slower the game can run when you put that item out into the world. Now, I've seen some massive structures. Massive. And I mean giant boats, motherships, the whole 9 yards. And they're built with decals. And if your system is not powerful enough, even if it is, sometimes it can have a drag on it. But if your system is not powerful enough, your game is going to lag like an old man crossing the street. So be aware of that factor. Most of my structures, actually, I've not built anything with a decal yet. I've downloaded stuff with decals, but as for using a decal to build a structure or an object, no. I put decals on things, but I haven't gone that far. There's one or two things that I really would like to build with a decal, but sometimes I'm a bit scared of the strain that I'll place on my system. Well, I jumped forward a little bit. We needed to gather some resources. We exported that tent, and it didn't come out very well. The problem seems to be the flooring, of course. She cannot enter, and the bed cannot enter either. This will be something that I will have to overcome. Always keep your eyes open when gathering things or moving at night. And here's the flashlight in action. You can't aim it, and there's no first-person view, so you don't have a good view of what you can see. There's tricks to maneuvering it, but you don't get too far, and you can't hold it with a weapon. I think it'd be so beautiful if you could attach the flashlight to your gun. Oh, look at that. He's gigantic, and he's sleeping. And that's something steaming on the ground. Time to investigate with caution. It's a steaming hot pile of dung. Insects and all. So, we'll put a mouse over it and click E, and that's how we collect dung. Uh-oh. I guess the one who dropped it has returned. Now, our armor really sucks, as you can see. Our HP is down to half. We'll collect this dung. Animal feces. And here you can see what it looks like when you're running with a torch. It gives a good amount of light. Not that great, but sometimes better than the flashlight because it doesn't illuminate straight in front of you. It illuminates an area all around you. Putting down a torch though, it will burn out, and when you try to collect it, it will turn to charcoal. So be aware of that. Charcoal you do need, of course, later on in the game for crafting. So just know that torches don't burn forever. As you can see here, the little camp that I set up, the torch that I put for Gerdy has burnt out. Which means I already have some charcoal to use. Charcoal is a resource, so that's where you should look for it in your inventory slots. Feces will also go there as well, used later on, of course, for fertilizer, organic fertilizer. Now, there's nothing too interesting about this, so we'll speed this section up.
Initializing.
Now we're back in the decal
Upgrade
section,
in progress.
which I'll choose
Rebooting
a
core
decal
systems. System
and place
ready.
over the tent in certain areas so that it glows a little more and has a more aesthetic effect. So far this tent is going to take 157 wood and I have 296. Always keep an eye on the cost of the resource in the right hand column. Now there's something that I never mentioned before. On the right hand column where it says interface plane, and the word is, well, slanted, facing down. There's a slider there. It says Y to O, or Y to 0. Now that plane moves your ground plane from the ground up. Let's say that you want to build something but you don't want it flat on the grid at the bottom. Move that plane up, and by moving it up, whatever you build on that plane. This comes in handy if you're building aircraft, cars. You don't want the car being built sitting flat on the ground. The wheels have to go on the ground first. That plane, reference plane, allows you to build that car as it floats in the air. So put your wheels down first and then go with that. You'll see that in future episodes when I build vehicles and other things. You can even use that when you're building weapons if you so choose. So we will make sure the tent has a certain look to it. So we'll save it, export it, and see what it looks like. Unfortunately, I didn't use my own advice. I should save a checkpoint and then export it so I don't waste resources. Overconfidence maybe, or just not thinking. I exported this thing. And to my dismay, it still didn't work. It looks nice, sure. But the bed can't go inside because of the invisible wall. Then it was a matter of taking it apart. I go back into the editor and cut it into pieces. And by doing so, I figure out the invisible wall that stopping the tent from going in and also stopping her from going in is being created by the bottom, the base. It's bigger than it looks, so there is no getting in. So then came the process of starting from scratch and redoing it. Trying to inspect these things at night creates a problem. Now you could just simply go into your build mode. Instead of going into story mode, go into build mode, build stuff with the free resources and test it. See, it's not going to work. You can't put nothing on it. The bed is its own solid structure. Not going to happen. But like I was saying, you can go into this build mode called create and build anything with the free resources that you get there and test them. I like to do real-world testing because there are no NPCs to test things with in build mode. So if you build a vehicle and it has side seats, passenger seats, you can't test it to see how the NPC sits on it, if they fit right, nothing. So I like to do real-world testing. The ground in build mode is smoother and flatter than it is in story mode as well. So I just like to do a lot of my testing in story mode. There are no creatures to attack you in build mode. You know, you're testing weapons and vehicles, what you need to attack or evade. There's nothing to hit. I also noticed that in every build, things that you build in build mode, they fly really great sometimes there. Put them in the story mode, it seems that all of a sudden you are exposed to winds and whatever not that you can't gauge, and the craft doesn't fly the same. So you're always tweaking. Just not going to work here. So you put your mouse over the object, of course. Right click on it, brings up the little box, and you can take it out or turn it. So it's back into the editor for tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. Now you see where the white is. The white will glow as well, but let me tell you something about the white. The white is, I made these images, or I shrunk them to whatever size I wanted to in GIMP. It's a free software for photo editing and such. But I left the white piece on instead of cutting it off when I was cropping the picture. So I exported another one made better. But this one here, I kept it, and it came in very handy. As you can see, that white will glow like a white light, just a white band. On our next episode, you'll get to see the results of this tweaking, and in episodes to come. For now, Newt sets up camp as to get some sleep. We'll continue our adventure next time.
Initializing.
If you've liked what you've seen, please give a like and feel free to share this video and subscribe. Tell a friend. Thank you. This is the Marauder, thanking all of my subscribers so far and my viewers, the builders and the modders. Special thanks to IncomeTech.com for the royalty-free music. Well, this is the Marauder with Planet Explorers 8.3 Alpha, Newt's Journeys, Steam Edition. I'm out.